What's going on, Brohans? And congratulations on finishing week 1 and moving into week 2. I am super proud of you guys. I hope that you all have enjoyed what we've been doing so far. Week 1 was a little long and it gave you guys a lot to think about, but I hope that you've been doing the regimen. I hope that it was enjoyable. So without further ado, let's get into reaction time. Now, I wanted to make this one of the 4 key things because I feel like reaction time is important. I feel like it's one of the 4 staples of being a great player, and the reason why I added it into this course. However, I really want to mention it's not as important as the other 3. In fact, it's important to know that it's not important, because a lot of people harp on it and they feel like the slower they are, the worse they are. And that's not true. All right. I have taken people back in Halo 2, when I used to play a lot of that, I have taken teams that I played with that were honestly not great. And I've won high tier matches with them. It's easy to do as long as you guys are all on the same page, and that's kind of what we're getting at, is strengthening your core and then getting you on the same page as your team. And we'll talk about teamwork and attitude in week 3, but let's start with reaction time. So I want to mention to you guys a little excerpt that I found from a GM CSGO player in Reddit, and he says, for anyone wondering, the average is from 240 to 260, which is correct. Pros reaction times are around the average. The big difference is in positioning and how they line up the shots, as well as the difference between LAN and online play, which again is correct. LAN play is much more instant than online play. Online play, you have to follow your shots a lot more and think about those things a little bit more, because you add 25 milliseconds to everything you do on average. Some people a little more, some people a little less. So think about that. So if your average reaction time is 250, but you're playing on a server of 25 milliseconds, your average reaction time is now 275. If you're playing on a server with 80 milliseconds, your reaction time is now 330. All right. So you really want to be able to decipher those things and understand what that means. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that part. Let's get into actually talking about what reaction time actually matters. Shroud, who is Shroud, we all know who he is. He's on Mixer now, but he was one of the top 10 Twitch streamers, and he was a pro for Cloud9. His reaction time, we only have one video of his reaction time and the average, and it was 180 milliseconds, which is incredibly good. Better than me, which I have an average after this test of 194. Way better than me, way better than most people. That's pretty up there, and that's very hard to get. I will say that I believe a lot of that comes from the monitor, because your monitor adds milliseconds to everything that you see. The computer adds milliseconds to everything that you see. He probably did it on a website, which that adds to everything that you see. So all of those things combined, if he is running a crazy computer, which I know he is because he has the money, 180 milliseconds seems much more likely. So take that with a grain of salt. I would assume that if he was playing at your house on your computer, he'd probably get into the 210 range. Just my personal thought. Now, Nothing, who is a CSGO pro, says that he is slightly better than average, so I chalk that up to being around 230. So a CSGO pro that gets paid to play has slightly better than average. So we really want to think about that. Reaction time is important. And if you have a reaction time of 500 milliseconds, obviously you need to improve that. But if you're pushing 250 or better, you're doing well. And it wouldn't hurt to improve, but there's much more to that than just reaction time. All right. If you can get that first shot off, chances are you're going to win your fight. But at the same time, if you're at 250 and they're at 250 and you guys are shooting the same, the fight's going to be the same. It's going to be more about what we're going to talk about in the coming weeks, which is your teamwork, your positioning, and your map awareness. So with that, though, if you are above 250 or you feel like you're above 250, you need to improve. If you're at 250, I still suggest you try to improve. The average visual response time is 250 milliseconds. The average audible response time is 170 milliseconds, and the average touch is 150. Now, we don't need to worry about touch so much, but I wanted to add it in there. We react quicker to audible cues than we do to visual cues. And I believe that has something to do specifically with how the brain processes information. But that's a really good thing to know, because that means what? Think about it. Don't got it yet? Got it? All right. For those of you that didn't get it, that means that you should be worrying about your headphones, making sure that they are at a level of audio that works for you, and making sure that the headphones that you're using are of decent quality. They don't have to be amazing, and you don't have to go out and buy $300 Astro A50s. These guys right here, I bought them for around $150 on sale. They have been with me for over 2 years, and I love them completely. Before this, back when I was a top 50 diva playing Overwatch, player, I had the Logitech G430s, which I believe is around $50, maybe less. That's also the headphones that Tyler 1 used when he was playing Pro League of Legends. So these are things that, you really need to worry about. Get good headphones, make sure that they're on a good audio level, and the footsteps that you hear while you're playing, if you can decipher how close somebody is by those footsteps, your reaction time will then come into play. As long as you can react to audio well, and you can react to visual average or better, you can do well. You can win your fights, you can win your games. So I wanted to make sure that we got that specifically down. So how are we going to test and improve? Aim Lab, we're going to add 6 minutes, 6 minutes to your Aim Lab regimen. Okay, you've been doing 15 minutes for a week. Your arm should be close to conditioned. So we now want to add in reaction times to that arm and your fingers. So Aim Lab reaction test, you can see that there is a reaction section. If you go in there, you will see the first thing, which talks about essentially they're going to show a dot on your screen, a ball on your screen. You don't have to aim at it. You just look straight ahead. The ball shows up. You click your mouse. That will tally your average reaction time over a minute. And then it'll tell you. Mine in Aim Lab, as much as I hate to say it, is around 300 milliseconds. However, if I use the humanbenchmark.com reaction test, I am at 194 is my best average I've actually got. Actually, I think I've gotten 184 was my best reaction time. 194 was a reaction time, and every time I did it, it like somehow averaged all to 194, whether I got 200 or 180 or what have you. And that's the best that I've ever done. The best reaction click that I've done that is not an average is 140, which I'm very proud of. But regardless of all of that, you could use humanbenchmark.com just to give yourself a little bit of an idea of how quick you're going to be. Remember, your monitor, computer, and your browser that you use are all going to contribute to increasing those milliseconds. Aim Lab reaction test, we're going to do that for a minute and rest for 3. And then, in addition to your regimen, you're going to close out of Aim Lab. You're going to open up Reaction Time 64, which I'm putting a link down below. And Reaction Time 64 is a really cool program. Essentially, it looks like a command window. It's a black screen with white text, and it tells you to hold down your left mouse click. Then it tells you that it is going to give you a white circle cue. Okay? When that white circle comes up, you're going to let go of your left mouse click, and you're going to press down on your right mouse click. My average in that is around 220 milliseconds. That is the best that I've done. I can't get any better than that. It is either that or I go a little bit higher. So that is a really good reaction test because it is training you not to worry about just one finger, but a complex scenario. You have to see the white circle. You have to let go of your left mouse click. You have to click your right mouse click. That is a really good way to condition your reaction time and get into a muscle memory habit, which we talked about last week. Reaction time is also about muscle memory habits. If you can train your muscles well enough to react, your eyes will send the signal to your brain will send it to your finger will click. The more streamlined that gets, the more efficient that gets, the quicker you will end up being. so your reaction time will gradually improve with this regimen. So this is going to be a very short video, and week 3 is all about teamwork and attitude. Let's freaking get it. Remember that you're awesome, you're amazing, you can be the best, and you're well on your way. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.